That's what's worrying. I wouldn't worry if Arsenal weren't looking as good as they are. That's the reality of it. We've scraped by in 7 games of football, lad. Not one have we been convincing that we're going to win that game from start to finish for 90 minutes. Can you tell me one?
Do you know what? Even if you go back to the last month of the season as well, I know Arne Slot went on holiday. We were all having a laugh and a joke about all the team being in Dubai and Ibiza before the season even finished. And the quote was like, "This is what being in a title race with Arsenal gets you. You'll get a month off." But really, I'll be honest, man. Let's have a look at the last few games of last season, because maybe since the Spurs game where we won 5-1, have we really, really been like, wow, that is breathtaking from Liverpool? Because, we win the league against Tottenham, right? We win 5-1. We lose 3-1 to Chelsea. We draw 2-2 to Arsenal. We lose to Brighton 3-2. And we draw to Palace on the last game of the season, get a red card. So since April the 27th, the day Liverpool won the Premier League title with a month to spare, we've not been great. And even go back a little bit before that as well. We went out to PSG. We lost to Newcastle in the final. We lost to Fulham away. We scraped at home against West Ham. We scraped that Trent winner. Do you remember, against Leicester? So actually, maybe even since, I'm going way back here, but 26th of February, when we beat Newcastle 2-0, when we beat Man City 2-0 away. 23rd of February. I mean, is this a recurring theme that we've seen now? I know this was last season, but I'm looking at this season's games. I mean, I was at pre-season as well. We lost 4-2 to Milan. We lost to Palace. We scraped past Bournemouth, scraped past Newcastle, scraped past Arsenal, scraped past Burnley, scraped past Atletico, scraped past Everton in the end, scraped past Southampton in the Cup, and we've now lost to Palace. So when you actually look back, in terms of a thorough performance, like you say, like you allude to, 27th of April, and we're about to hit October.
It's not convincing. And
So
I guess
with that being said, I think we should worry a little bit. We can't just go along thinking, oh, we've won, there's nothing to worry about, everything's rosy, everything's fine. When you're looking at performances, outstanding performances, where you go, what a performance that is from Liverpool, it's been about 6 months.
you shouldn't rely on the identity of Liverpool, which is to fight until the last second. And we want that in every single game, of course we do. But you can't rely on that every single. You've got to be professional and win games professionally. And we were excellent at doing that to a certain point last season. Like even the first game of the season when we won 2-0 against Ipswich, it was only an easy game that you should be really winning. But when we went out, first half wasn't great. Second half, come out and managed the game really well. And some people said that it was a bit slower, but it was stable. And that's how we control games. And it just seems like this transition now is going to hurt us.
Do you remember with the early Slot reign, we were saying, oh, 2-0 seems to be like the Arne Slot scoreline.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like a 3-1, typical, stereotypical scoreline under Jurgen Klopp, where we might concede first, but we come back and score 3. What has happened to that kind of control 2-0 victory where we get the clean sheet, might score in the first half, 1 in the second half, and then we just see it out? What's happened to that?
Transitioning. It's as simple as that, really. We've bought loads of new players. It's actually funny, right? It almost seems counterintuitive because our strength has actually been built on the players that we've kept over the years without buying players in major positions to come in and take over. And as a result of that, we've been able to develop this core philosophy and understanding of each other as players, or they have as players, and it's played into our strengths, right? We've been able to. Last season, our midfield was exceptional. It really was. And for whatever reason, we've lost a bit of creativity in Trent, so we've brought Wirtz in to try and give us that creativity. But we've went away from that solid, wonderfully balanced midfield that won us the Premier League last season. And I think this transition is really going to be difficult for us. I don't even want
to. Happened to Maka as well.
There's a long season to go. Oh my days, so long, and Arsenal are going to drop points without a shadow of a doubt. I don't even want to.
Happened to Maka as well.
There's a long season to go. Oh my days, so long, and Arsenal are going to drop points without a shadow of a doubt. But they look like a core group of players that are ready to go. And then you've seen it yesterday with Eze actually put into the mix. You look great. I think that's the type of way that we need to deploy it. We need to play almost like a 4-2-3-1. Does that make sense? drop Mo Salah back and drop Gakpo back a little bit, because the problems that we're having right now is our fullbacks are bombing forward and creating all this space for people to get into. It's a transitional season, and we're finally seeing it now. Yes, the manager's changed from last season, but this is the players now and the system, and I think we're going to suffer a lot as a result. We'll see some nice football from time to time, but
I
we're
just
going
want
to
to see
suffer.
a convincing performance from minute 1 to 90.
I don't think we will.
And you know what? We've all been riding this crest of like, oh, look at us. This is what champions do. We win in the last minute. And look, if that's the only way, then obviously we take it because we have to win this title. We have to retain this title, right? And the signings show us that we're trying to do that with Isak, Ekitike, with Wirtz, etc. But when I'm looking at performances, and I see Arsenal yesterday, first 6 minutes, they've had 3 shots on goal. You know, very lucky to stay in the game. Newcastle, really, they're going at half time 1-0 up, which, again, on another day, Arsenal get that penalty, and it's definitely not that. So, up until the 84th minute, we were thinking, right, we've got away with another one. Newcastle are going to do us a big favour here. But the performances, man, it is starting to worry me a little bit when I look back at the results from last season into this season. So let us know. We've asked you in the chat. We've just put a poll up. Are you worried about Liverpool's performances right now this season? At the minute, 80% of you say yes, right?
I think that going forward, what we need to do is go back to the core group of players that we know have worked. And even though we've signed these players for hundreds of millions of pounds, you still have to earn your spot in the Liverpool team by playing the Liverpool
Can't just
way.
be shoehorned in because of your price.
It does not work. We're going to get the best out of these footballers by rotating them. Wirtz has been played 7, 8 games now, and it's not working. So unfortunately, we're going to have to go back to a midfield that does. And you can come on in certain games for half an hour, and that's when you've got to turn it on and prove why you should be starting for Liverpool. I don't really care about price tags, to be quite honest with you. And we're sort of falling into that trap that other teams do when you pay £100 million or something for a player that you've just automatically got to start them.
And the word worry, right? You know, that's why I think we should almost praise what Liverpool have done so far, because we're still top of the league and we haven't played great at all this season so far. So you actually have to respect the fact that the points are already on the board. We're not chasing anything. We've already got the points in the bag, really. 1 loss so far this season. Is it time to worry?
We played a very good football team in Crystal Palace there, by the way, guys. We didn't just play
18 unbeaten, and I knew that would be our toughest.
Football
that was
team.
Our toughest game of the season so far.
I said it. We'd done a post on the R, and he said how many points you're going to get from this next 6 games, and I said Palace away is one of the most difficult fixtures that you can pick up right now on form.
It is,
how they're
but
playing.
they've got 1 win in 17 against us before that game in the Prem.
They've got a new manager, lad, who set them up fantastically well. They
1
beat us
win
in the Community
17.
Shield. You've seen how well they played against us. Glasner is a fantastic manager, mate. They were 18th for possession stats going into the game against Liverpool. They don't really like the football, as you said earlier. And they played right into their hands, letting Liverpool have the ball and fumble about with it and make a missed pass so they could just quickly transition and get onto the wings and cross the ball into the box, mate. The amount of times Kirkes and Connor got caught out was ridiculous. That's why they've seen them save some Alisson, is because it goes out to the wing and it's just a low-driven cross across the box, lad, and there's nobody to defend it, and Alisson has just saved us very luckily. But it was drastic. I do think that Slot's got it a little bit wrong, lad. I've got to say Slot is also part of this. And it's bound to happen because it's a new team, right? So he's trying to figure out, trying to put all his new toys in these different areas to see what works and what doesn't. And unfortunately, while you're doing that, it costs you points. And that's what we've seen. Our best performance so far, in my opinion, was the first half of the Everton game. And who was playing then? None of the new signings, lad. Hugo. That was it. Kirkes. It's difficult, lad.
Yeah, it is difficult, but I think you've got to understand that this team is almost a brand new setup. You know, I think